So, what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is the Ryan here.
And today we once again have another interesting video for you all. Now this one is talking about the comparisons between Freddy Krueger and Nightmare Freddy. Now before we jump into this video too much, we know that this is a topic that's been briefed over many times, but we actually have a lot of in-depth stuff and actually a lot of comparisons between these two guys, which is actually quite astounding. So we really hope you guys do enjoy this and you hopefully also learn some new things that you didn't know before.
Yeah, now when the first Nightmare Freddy was, well, the Nightmare animatronic Nightmare Freddy was released, a lot of people were actually comparing Freddy Krueger to Freddy Fazbear, and at first it was just because of the claws, really. Freddy Fazbear had very sharp claws.
Absolutely.
And obviously Freddy Krueger's main weapon is a claw, but
then
that was where it kind of stopped. But then I delved into who Freddy Krueger is and a lot about him, and there's actually so many little comparisons between the two. It's actually very scary.
I was going to say, over time when you would actually report back to me with these things, it kind of, each one would make my eyebrow raise higher and higher, and it nearly lifted off my face. It was so startling, and I suppose it's one of those things as well, because me and you are quite media buffs, aren't we?
Yes,
So it was straight up our ballpark, and we absolutely love researching things like this. So we're going to go through the list of things from the most obvious to possibly the most startling.
Well, like we said before, obviously the main one is the claw. That's what Freddy Krueger is known for. He slices people up with that vicious claw of his. Obviously, all the other animatronics, Nightmare animatronics, have these sharp claws, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they were inspired by this character, who knows? Even if they weren't, like we say, it is very coincidental and very scary.
Absolutely, and especially the tipping the hat thing, because when you think about Freddy Krueger, he also wears a hat, doesn't he?
Yes.
So it's almost like he's tipping the hat, and ironically, this was the first animatronic we were at least allowed to see by Scott Cawthon, posed in this very specific and almost like a mocking manner, isn't it?
Yes.
And as you said about also the Nightmare animatronics, and there's something that's really important with the whole Nightmare theme, and something that Freddy Krueger actually thrives upon.
Yes, many of you probably won't actually know who Freddy Krueger is, and if you don't, then let's inform you. Basically, Freddy Krueger is like a serial killer within your nightmares. Like, he's dead, but he's not dead. He's an evil kind of demon.
Yeah, he prides on people falling asleep, and then whilst they're asleep, all these barbaric and insane things can happen. And it's actually interesting in the movies, these characters stay awake and they force themselves to everything, and eventually they succumb to the sleep, and of course they're delved right into this nightmarish world where we see absolutely crazy things, and this manic Freddy Krueger guy is unleashed to kill them.
Yes, and we don't actually need to explain what the final chapter is going to be about. It's pretty much there right in front of our eyes in every single teaser. Nightmare is the word right in front of us, and Scott did actually say that Nightmare has a very important role in the whole game.
So now we move on to the mini Freddys, and there's actually something really interesting about these guys in correlation to the Freddy Krueger's build.
Yes, and you actually pointed this out to me. It was the fact that Freddy Krueger seems to possess like this chest of souls on his chest, like I don't know if they're like victims or what, but they're flipping horrifying.
I would say so. I mean, if you look at the expressions on some of these guys' faces, it almost looks like pain and absolute dread. And comparing it to these mini Freddy guys, it might be like a kind of mirror image. You know, these Freddy guys do look very vicious, but they've got their mouths gaping. It may just be for a different reason. And the similarities again with this whole scenario is really weird. It's so creepy. It's hard to comprehend how alike this guy is to Freddy Krueger.
Oh, but it doesn't stop there, because Freddy Krueger's face was actually inspired by a pizza, believe it or not.
Yes. Now, this sounds so weird, but if I remember correctly, it was through the director eating a cheese and pepperoni pizza.
I think it was the head of makeup. I'm not sure. I read an article saying it was head of makeup.
It was someone working on the film, and the actual overall design for Freddy Krueger was actually based on a pizza, and just the way, you know, the cheese melted and the pepperonis were like the blotchiness of the skin. And if you look at Freddy, you can kind of see the similarities and how his skin seems to have dripped in an unnatural way, and the tears and things like that.
Yes, and obviously, as we know, Freddy Fazbear, he is the main mascot in a pizzeria serving pizzas.
Absolutely. Yes, he is. And the correlation there, guys, we don't need to really explain much more. You guys can surely see exactly where we're going with this one.
But this point is possibly the most interesting point I came across. For those of you who don't know Freddy Krueger, he was originally a serial killer who went by the name of the Springwood Slasher. And basically he murdered one of these children, and the parents of one of the victims actually chased this person down, Freddy Krueger, and burnt him alive. And this was when I believe he was either given the choice to kill people as an entity that he is now, or I think it was just to pass on, and he obviously, being the serial killer, decided to stay on and kill more children, basically.
Isn't it ironic that this guy died in a fire and then he starts haunting people in their nightmares, and at the end of Night 6, aka Nightmare Mode in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we noticed that the Fazbear's Entertainment, Fazbear's Fright, has burned to the ground.
Yes, it is.
How
very,
bizarre
very
is that? How insanely bizarre is that?
And that actually entwines Nightmare in. It's like so many factors of Freddy Krueger like entwined in just that one point alone. It's
absolutely
crazy.
It's very stifling when you start to see the similarities, and also when you look at the color of Freddy Krueger's skin. It's got similarities with this new guy, and it's almost like the Nightmare Freddy seems to have all this witheredness to him, and it's almost like a collage or some kind of admiration to the Freddy Krueger design, how his skin's all torn and shredded, and there's just so many similarities. I'm sure we've missed a few.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, mate. Freddy Krueger kind of reminds me of the purple guy itself within Spring Freddy, because obviously the purple guy is just nothing but like flesh and a horrible corpse within a suit, and obviously Freddy, he looks absolutely disgusting.
This is very insightful and actually makes you think, could Scott be using other sources of inspiration for maybe the characters we see within the game?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So there we have it, guys. There's once again another interesting video for you all. This one was exploring the whole Freddy Krueger and Freddy Fazbear similarities, and it's quite startling. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Be sure to comment down below any of your thoughts on this idea.
Yes, and if you guys did enjoy this video, why not leave a like rating down below? And if you're new to this channel, why not subscribe for more theories and suggestions like this and the gameplay.
So thank you very much for watching the video, guys, and we'll of course see you on the next one.
Goodbye, guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?